Are you an employer of labor or an employee working for an organization? Then this video is for you. Come close. We're going to be discussing in this video how you get to arrive at your net salary after deducting taxes and other allowable expenses that are allowed by the law to be reduced from your salary in order to arrive at your net salary and your tax payable. So if you are watching me in this video right now, I know there are times where you have discussed an amount with an employer that at the end of the month you get to be paid, but then you get to receive an amount significantly lower than what was discussed, which is termed a net salary. And that is why this video is for you. We are going to be looking at the new Nigerian Tax Act and what it says about deductions that are allowable in preparing a salary and how you get to arrive at your net salary when you get to prepare a payroll. If you're a finance professional, accounting professional, an employee or an employer, you need to pay attention to this video, because if you follow me to the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you practically how you arrive at your net salary. So stay with us. So this is the part where we are going to be guiding you on how to arrive at your net salary, considering your tax payable, your allowances, and every other allowances that's allowable to you as an individual who works an 8 to 5 job as an employee in an organization. So whether you are an employer, you are an employee, you are a finance professional, or you are a HR professional that is interested in payroll, or you prepare payroll for your organization, this is where you need to pay very critical attention to what I'm going to be sharing right now. So if you have watched to this side, turn on your notification, subscribe, and then like for powerful insights when it comes to tax and finance on this channel. So first of all, let's even look at the reliefs that are available to you, allowable reliefs that are available to you as an employee, which you are going to possibly use to reduce your taxable amount. So first of all, let's look at the National Health Insurance Scheme. So if you work in an organization where they issue the health insurance scheme and it is actually deducted from your salary, you can use that to reduce your taxable amount. Then also national pension scheme. National pension scheme is basically 18% in total, but then the employer gets to incur 10% and the employee gets to incur 8%. That's why we have only 8% here, since we are looking at the salary of the employee. Then we have National Housing Fund. National Housing Fund currently is not so compulsory, but then if you issue National Housing Fund for your employee, or you as an employee you are interested in National Housing Fund, it is calculated at 2.5%, and this is also allowable for you to use to reduce your taxable amount. And then there is life insurance, and then there is National Social Insurance Trust Fund, which is NSITF, and then there's gratuity. So these are allowable deductions for computation of your net salary. So most of the time when you discuss a gross salary with your employer, at the end of the month you get to see an amount that is lesser than what you had initially discussed at your salary. Then this is what happens. It's either pension has been deducted from it, national health insurance have been deducted from it, National Housing Fund has been deducted for it, NSITL have been deducted from it, and then of course tax has been deducted from it. So let's proceed to the computation table. So this is a template that we use in our organization to help our clients get their pay structure excellently. So we're using this template to explain to you how you arrive at a net salary if you are working as an employee. I believe as employer you need to pay attention, and then also as someone that is interested in payroll. So the first column you can see here is serial number, and you can see at the top this is staff details. So serial number can be 1, then staff name. Let's assume staff name is my name, Tehumbatepav, and then department, of course, accounting, and basic salary. Let's assume this is a point where we are going to impute the basic salary based on your offer letter, what your organization give you as an offer letter. But some of the times when you receive an offer letter, you just see a lump sum, but then the payroll takes into cognizance the basic pay, housing, transport, meal, and then which sums up to the total income. Now, as you can see on the next column, you can see NHIS, which is National Health Insurance Scheme, as I've shown you in the reliefs. Then this is pension, this is NHF, this is life insurance. Then if you proceed, this is the gross income tab. Then this is the consolidated relief allowance. Before the introduction of the new Nigerian Tax Act, there will have been a consolidated relief allowance that was applicable to salary, which is 200,000, lesser of 200,000, and 1% of gross plus 20% of the gross income. But now that has been discontinued based on the Nigerian Tax Act. What is currently available as the relief currently is 20% of your rent, which should not exceed 500,000. So the lesser of 20% of your rent or 500,000. So if the 20% of your rent is more than 500,000, the computation is going to take into cognizance 500,000. But then if the 20% of your rent is less than 500,000, the computation is going to take into cognizance the 20%. I believe that's clear. So this is the total deductions. I want to move forward. This is a column for your chargeable income. All this, as you can see, all those columns here that has dash kind of things here, there are formulas attached to it. And then this is the graduating rate of the tax based on the This is the graduating rates on the tax based on the new tax act that has been released, that is going to commence 1st of January 2026. As you can see, this is 800,000, the first 800,000 at 0%, the next 2.2 million at 15%, the next 9 million at 18%, the next 13 million at 21%, the next 25 million at 23%, and 50 million at 25%. So hence there is no minimum tax payable now, so that minimum tax is 0%. Then if you can go further, you can see here that there's annual PAYE tax payable. So this is what recognizes your annual tax payable. And then monthly gross pay, this is your monthly gross pay as an employee. Then this one reflects your monthly pay that you're supposed to pay monthly. Then this is your monthly net pay. So the last column will reflect your take home, the amount that will land in your bank account as your money to take home for working for that month. So let's go back to the front, to the beginning line. As you can see, we have already put serial number and then the name and then the department accounting. Then let's assume my basic pay is 5 million per annum. We are using annum here, that's per year. My basic pay is 5 million per year, and my housing, for instance, is 500,000 that was given to me. Then transport 500,000. Based on these are assumed figures, based on assuming that this is my actual position of my salary based on my offer letter has been issued to me by my employer. Then the meal, you can see 500,000. Let's just put 350,000 for instance for the meal. So as you can see now, my total salary for the year annually is 6,350,000. So by computation, as you can see on this slide, these percentages apply. National Health Insurance Scheme 5%, pension 8%, National Housing Fund 2.5%. So that's why you can see here they automatically apply based on the percentages of the relief. So my National Health Insurance Fund based on my salary is 250,000, which is 5%. Then pension 508,000, which is 8%. Then NHF, which is 2.5%, which is 125,000. Then we don't do life assurance. It's assumed that we don't do life assurance in my company, so life assurance is 0. So the total gross income, that's the gross income now, as you can see, is this total income less this allowable deduction, which is NHIS, pension, and NHF, will arrive at this particular figure, 5,467,000. Then the consolidated relief allowance, as you can see, 20% of my total income is more than 500,000. So the template is recognizing just 500,000 because it cannot be more. As I explained earlier, the consolidated relief allowance right now, based on the new Nigerian Tax Act that is taking effect 1st of January 2026, says that you as an employee can get relief based on your rent you pay, but then the rent has to be
accurately documented and verifiable. So if your rent, you pay rent 20% of your rent, lower of 20% of your rent, or 500,000. So if 20% of your rent is more than 500,000, then the computation will recognize 500,000. But if 20% of your rent is less than 500,000, then the computation will go with 20% of your rent. So as you can see, the total deduction, which has to do with NHIS, pension, NHF, and then the consolidated relief allowance have to do with your rent relief, is 1,383,000 naira. So if you less this total deduction, less your the gross income, the total income, the balance will have, our chargeable income will be 4,967,000. So the graduating rate table said the first 800,000 is charged at 0%. That's why you see 0 here. Then the next 2.2 million is charged at 15%. That's why you see 330,000 naira, because 800,000 less 4,967,000, then you apply 15% on 2.2 million, then we get 330,000 naira. Then the balance, if we have taken 800,000 from 4,967,000, and we have taken 2.2 million, 800,000 plus 2.2 million is 3 million. So 3 million less 4,967,000, what is left? It will be left with 1,967,000. So 18% of 1,967,000 is what will give us this amount. So, and then that is where it stops. There is no extra chargeable income that can accommodate the next 13 million. So that's why you can see 0 here and 0 all through. So assuming this is the amount I earn, assuming this is my gross income, assuming this is my total income, and this is what my salary looks like, this is what I'm going to pay in taxes. I'm going to pay, the annual tax I'm going to pay is 684,060 naira based on the new Nigerian Tax Act. But this is a template. Once you input the figures, it runs through. As you can see, it ran through here. Very easy, very seamless. So the monthly gross pay now is this 6 million. Monthly gross pay now is my salary per month. The monthly gross pay is my salary, total salary they're supposed to pay me a month is this. Then my monthly pay, which is 6,684,060 naira divided by 12. So as you can see here, this divided by 12 will give me my monthly pay, which is 57. My monthly payee, which is the tax I'm going to pay, which is 57,005 naira. Then if you less 57,005 naira from the annual, my monthly gross, I'll arrive at my net pay, which is 398,578 naira 3 kobo. So this is the explanation based on this template. We have this template, and based on this template, this is the explanation. Very seamless, very simple, and very easy. And this is updated based on the Nigerian Tax Act that was signed in June but takes effect from 1st of January 2025. So if you have watched up to this stage, you can subscribe, turn on your notification, and click on the like button so that you can get powerful more insight when it comes to tax from our channel. And then again, if you are interested to have this template, we can give it to you. Just do all this: subscribe, like, turn on your notification, and then drop template in the comment section, and then we will guide you on how to get this template. So this is very similar, this is very easy, and this is updated based on the 2025 Nigerian Tax Act that was signed in June to take effect from 1st January 2026. So this is very interesting, and I would like you to understand that this is how your net salary is being arrived at. But then you can find yourself in a situation where your company doesn't pay health insurance, your company doesn't pay pension, your company doesn't pay NHIF. So what happens is they will be calculating your tax on your salary directly. So there will be no recognition of NHS, pension, and NHF if your company does not remit them to the government. So there will be no computation of this. It will just be, your tax will just be applied straight on your salary, and then you will get to get your net pay. So if you are interested in this particular content and particular video, you can subscribe again, as I've said, so that you can get powerful insights from this channel. So see you in the next video. Thanks.